So Saturday here in San Jose is nearly in the books, and I'm recapping my day, my calling event, and some of the other fun stuff along the way. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Hey there, Flesh and Blood folks. Welcome back to Dice Commando. Thanks for checking in. That's right, live from, well, not really live, but on location in San Jose. That's right, you can tell it's the hotel room. Like, there's the bed. That's where the magic happens. Or would, or doesn't, either way. But yeah, it's been a long day, right? So cheers. Obviously, this is unscripted. You couldn't tell that already. Just doing a kind of a recap of my day. I'll just start and say I'm really glad that the day is over. It's Flesh and Blood's a hard game. It takes a lot out of you, and it's a long day. So yes, I played in the calling. So I did not play in the World Championship. I played in the calling. So it was 8 rounds today. I heard unofficially it was 530-ish players, somewhere in that range. There was a little bit of crossover from Worlds because some people had dropped. Not very many because they were drafting and then doing Blitz today, right? And you guys have seen all the results from that. I'll go ahead and editing and throwing them up. Why the heck not? Congrats to the top 8 people who I think are duking it out right now. So yeah, we'll obviously get the results of that. Now, I do not have any breakdowns from the calling itself. There's a couple issues. I mean, not issues, right? But as you guys, for those of you who've been in the large events like this, you actually know more about the event not being in the event, right? Like, because you don't know what's going on. You know what's going on around you, and it's confirmation bias of what you see around you. And because Worlds is going on, no one cares about the calling, really, in terms of the Flesh and Blood stuff. CFB had a few hiccups this morning, so I think that probably hurt them in terms of getting the breakdowns and the charts and all that. But either way, I mean, it was a good day overall, right? I mean, so there was 78 players. I think they said ish, maybe 77. Either way, in that range is what made day 2. So what I really wanted to do was just talk about my day. Like I said, there are no official results that I've seen posted, at least as of the time I'm shooting this. It is actually, as of the time I'm shooting this, no longer Saturday by 1.5 minutes as of right now. So there you go. So yeah, I played Dorinthea today. That was no secret. I told everybody that was going to happen. That's what I wanted to do. Wanted to bring my original, it was my vacation down here, and I wanted to come and have a good time, and I wanted to bring the hero that I enjoy playing the most, which was Dorinthea. And it went okay. So I ended up the day at 50%, 4-4, which, as you guys know, that's often my goal. I've talked about that before. When you go, I want to be above 50%. Now, obviously, I was not above 50%. I was at 50%. The summary on the day was I ate Fi's lunch, as you would expect, right? That's one of the reasons I wanted to play her because I wanted to play her. But I knew I was going to eat Fi. I knew I was going to lose to Oldhim. I knew I was about a 50-50 with Icelander. So anyway, let's run through it. So round 1, I ran up against Noah. So shout out Noah from Lincoln, Nebraska. That was a Fi match, and that's just to my advantage. I'll be honest, that was, 14 hours ago. Wow, that's crazy. I don't remember a bunch about that match. I remember that I had 6 counters on at the end, and there's nothing you could do about it, right? I mean, that's Dorinthea versus Fi, right? That's the way it's supposed to go. So cheers for me. That was a good matchup. Second round was Derek Chu. I was not able to get where he's from because he wasn't as chatty, which is fine. That's just right. I ended up conceding this match, actually. It was an Oldhim match. I was not having any fun playing this. It was just this and Pummel, and Frostfang and Pummel and Frostfang and Pummel, and yeah, Oldhim needs LL. That's my take. He needs to go away. But I mean, you guys saw the splits from Worlds, right? In terms of Oldhim and Icelander and how they did in Blitz, right? Control is control, and in a game where skill matters, yeah, big motor, all right. But in a game where skill matters, people tend to control because more decision points, better skill, right? It makes sense, but very control heavy in an environment such as Worlds, which you would expect, where everybody's tryharding and trying to. I mean, it makes sense, right? So fair enough. Round 3 was against a Phi. So this was Ryan Garris from Colorado. Ryan was a great player to play against. So my first round player. Sorry, I did not give him enough of a shout out. We had a great. So Noah, we had a great game. I really enjoyed playing you. Regardless of the outcome, you were great. Ryan, you were also great from Colorado. So shout out there. That was a Phi match. So that ended 12-3. Again, I'm heavily, as Dorinthea, I'm heavily favored into Phi. There's no secret there, right? Heavily not favored into Oldhim, as you would expect. Round 4 was against Austin Summer. So Austin's from Arizona. I ended up taking a loss on this. So this was Dromai. I have to be honest, I didn't expect to take a loss on this. Austin played it really, really well. I actually saw Austin. We met up with some of the guys at the Hyatt here a little bit ago. Austin was there still jamming games, getting ready, so hopefully his day went well on, maybe he's making day 2 and he's jamming and practicing, so good for him. He played this really well. He pitch stacked his rakes, and then, I was doing what I was supposed to do the whole time, and all of a sudden he raked, and there was a bunch of dragons on the table, and I couldn't downblade him fast enough, right? And we were pretty much out, and I just, yep, you got it, bro, because we were gonna fatigue out, and he got it. So well done. So I was 2-2 at that point. Okay, right, no problem. The Dromai match, I was a little bummed I lost on that. Again, I credit to him, right? I'm not saying, right, he did well, right? I should have won that match, I think, but I didn't, right? So that's the way it goes. Round 5, then I got paired up versus an Icelander. I hate Icelander, right? She needs to go away too. I don't know. Obviously it's clear I hate control, but Icelander and Oldhim, they are what they are. But the Icelander match was okay. But it's just a horrible game, right? You just stab for 3, and if they don't, then you come over the top. Then you stab for 3 again, and it's just like, oh my god, we're both just doing the same thing over and over and over again, seeing who can eke out the cards, right? So, but it was this Daniel Creus. Daniel was a good opponent, and yeah, 11-13 there. All right, round 6. So I am 2-4 at this point, right? I'm 2-4 at this point. I'm not happy with my day. I'm not feeling great about things, but I'm sticking it out because I want to make my 50%, right? So cheers. Sorry, I was forecasting. This is round 6. I will be 2-4. I will 2-4 after this. Sorry. So this is Austin from San Diego on Rhinar. Yeah, this is the match that put me into borderline bad space. So I know how to play against Rhinar. Dorinthea versus Rhinar, it's like a classic. It's actually literally the classic battles. There you go. But I know how to play against Rhinar, right? And Austin played great. He played great. He did great. And I don't know what to tell you. I lost. And it was for the first 3-4 rounds, it was very fast. It was like a control Rhinar. He had at least 12 defense reactions. It was sync, fate, and that all you got, right? And he just kept reacting, and I couldn't get over the top, and he was playing very conservative, and it was just like pummel, or not, well, yes, pummels too, but it was club, big swings, and pummels were the only things I saw for the first 3 quarters of the game. He just played a very patient Rhinar. He only intimidated me maybe 3 or 4 times over the course of the game, and eventually I just died, and fair enough. And I was disappointed in myself. And I'm not saying he didn't play it well. I was disappointed in myself that I didn't win that game. Because sitting down when I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm going to get this. And that was a mistake. I did not. So bad on me. Round 7 was against Patrick Jones. So Patrick, he said he's from Humboldt, so he's from Northern California. Patrick's also a judge. Patrick's one of the cleanest players I've ever played against. Like, he was on it, right? Like, but not like in a bad way. Like, we had a great game. It was a fantastic game. He was on Briar, by the way. Good info for you to have. So he was on Briar. You guys know I don't play well into Briar, especially on Dorinthea. I did play this very well. Actually, I pitch stacked my Oases, whatever. I pitch stacked those to the bottom. So when I was down in health, I could actually get the 5, right? Instead of being a 4, it's a 5, right? Because you get the health back. I did that well. That really, I think, threw him for a loop at the end because, like, I don't know if you can see it very well. Oh, by the way, thank you, Adam, for this pad because, of course, I'm a dumb S and showed up with that pad. And I had it back in my apartment, but I didn't have to walk for it. As you can see, right? 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 2. Right, I kept gaining health at the end, right? Blocking with once my pitch stack came around. So I did good job. I did good job. What am I, brute player? No, so I did a good job on that one, and just kept plugging away. I mean, I was playing mostly defensive the whole time, right? And eventually, I think I fatigued him, actually, right? I mean, we weren't quite there, but, like, it was pretty damn close. So he was basically out of stuff, and I was able to come through with the counter on. And yeah, but again, a huge credit to Patrick. So he said he's one of the few judges in his area, and it showed, right? He was very, very, very clean, but like I said, not in like the enforcement way, right? Like a lot of judges, when they know they're, better at the rules, they come down pretty hard, and he did a really good job of, like, being interactive, and we had a good game, a good fun time. So thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Last round, thank God, right? Round 8, right? So this is like heading into like 5:30, something like that. Another Dromai, right? So this was against Thor Hoffman, who's from Portland, right? He's actually one of the Guardian crew, runs with Team Galaxy Brain. He was on Dromai. I took this one on fatigue, and the whole time I was dead. It probably could have gone faster, to be honest with you, but I was still having post-traumatic stress from the first Dromai game that I lost, where he had pitch stacked his Rake the Embers and just balled me at the end with Ashwings. And when we were getting down to the bottom, I was playing very conservatively because I was afraid those were coming. And then at the end of the game, we were talking, he actually he sided him out against me. So I didn't have to worry about that. But yeah, so I got it on fatigue, and actually the last card in his deck was an instant, which he said he'd made a sideboarding mistake on because it didn't block, which makes sense. But so I ended up getting that one 13-18, meaning he had 18, but he was out, right? So I would have just had to, right? You guys get it. So yeah, finished 4-4. I mean, nothing to write home your mommy about, but I was 1-0, 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, 2-4, and then 3-4, 4-4. So, got it back, I guess. A lot of the DC team guys had buys through, or not really buys, but like no shows and stuff through the day. I didn't get one, which is good because I got to play Fab, but also means I didn't get a break. So anyway, that's my thing. That's my calling. Other stuff that I wanted to talk about from the weekend was Artist Alley. That's something we talked about kind of going in. So when I showed up on Friday, I'll show the entrance. I took a photo of the entrance, give you guys kind of a perspective of the event itself. So the event was in, many people will be talking about this, so I'm not like, making any eggs or cracking any eggs here, right? But it was in a tent, like one of those tents that a lot of universities use for like their practice fields, keep them covered. At least in the northern states, they use them to keep their practice fields covered. The only real complaint I had is that the lighting in there was not great it was fine. It's not like you were tripping over yourself, but it could have been a little brighter for playing cards and trying to read people's text. One of the real problems I had was my round, was it my round 4 opponent, 5 opponent, whatever, the guy on Dramai, the first Dramai I faced, he had like a completely blinged out dragon deck, and it was very hard to read his foil cards because he had, the full Marvel dragons that were all foiled out. I couldn't read because foil cards depend on light to reflect off of them, and I couldn't read. So, and we were both having issues because you have to read some of those dragons, and I suppose some of you all out there don't, but I have to read dragons to know what they do. So fair enough. So you guys hopefully saw I did meet up with Fluke and Box. I met up with Soup. That was actually on Friday, and then we got it was great to meet those guys. And actually, Fluke tracked me down, which that was awesome. So Fluke, shout out, you tracked me down, which was pretty awesome. Sloop, I had to stand in line for him because he's a celebrity. I get it. But so like I said, I wanted to talk about Artist Alley. So when I showed up on Friday, Sam Yang was he was sponsored by LSS. I guess. So Sam Yang and MJ they were sponsored or whatever by LSS. So you could get 2 things signed for free. So I got my foily Young Dash that I had an extra of, and I got a Phi signed. And then I was able to, on my rounds that ended early, I was able to go over. Fortunately, I got everything signed this weekend, or already today, that I wanted to. So I was able to get Levia signed. I was able to get Prism signed. And then Federico was able to sign Chane and Lexi for me. So pretty big wins there. The other thing that was really cool, right as I was about to leave at 6 o'clock, they were starting the cosplay. Man, there was some ballers out at the cosplay. So L, staying at the same place that I am, we won't mention what that is, but right, staying in the same place that I am, ran into them earlier yesterday, and they were dropping hints at what they were going to do. It's like it said 100 hours went into this, and huge shout out. Looks really good. Did great, especially with the hair. Like, put in work to grow in the hair and stuff, right? Like, first time I met you, you had shaved hair, and it's not anymore, and it kind of matches Boltyn a little bit. So, cheers. But this dash also was phenomenal. Like, had LED light ups and stuff, and just the whole event, awesome. Had a great day, and then. Obviously we went out with, Kevin, huge shout out to Kevin. Kevin played in one of the casual events, got a Dynasty pack. If you haven't already checked that out, we put it up on a Facebook just for fun. Opened his Dynasty pack live at a bar. It was kind of fun. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say, guys. Like I had had a good time, right? And it's late and I'm casting from a hotel room. I don't know what else to say, right? But that's the recap of the day and how it went. I think the last thing I'm going to say is this is the first time I have ever been to something like this, right, in terms of how big it is. And I think that if I'm to do it again, just from the happiness of this has been meeting the people and doing the artists for me, right, has been meeting the people and doing the artists. And I think if I was to do this again, I'd buy a package that just let me in the door, and then I could do side events. And I think that would be probably what I would do in the future. It's not that I didn't enjoy ultimately the calling now that it's done. I am burnt out, and I don't really want to play more Fab today. Or, well, not today. Yesterday. I'll play some more Fab tomorrow. But I think, and by tomorrow I mean today. That's a Wayne's World reference, by the way. Anyway, you guys get the point. But yeah, I think in the future, maybe just showing up these things and doing the side events probably is more fun in terms of fun for me. So I don't know that. And to be clear, that's not a slam on the calling or anything like that. I'm not slamming CFB or anything. Just stop. I'm not. But that's just my take. I think it'd be a lot more fun to just like jam Blitz. And if you have 2 bad Blitz tournaments, you just go get a beer and take a walk or run or whatever and come back and play CC or whatever floats your boat, right? Do a draft, right? And I think that's better than just like getting beat on with the top meta decks, because let's be honest, it's Worlds weekend and it's the calling weekend and people only travel with so many decks, and it's very much a try-hard weekend. Like, there's no casual Fab happening this weekend, right? So I think that showing up and doing it for shorter stints is probably more fun to the non-try-hard person. And again, that's not taking away from anybody else. I'm just saying, for me, who's here to have fun and enjoy their vacation, I think probably that's the way to go, right? But again, you got to do you. So anyway, I had a great time today. I'm looking forward to having a great time tomorrow, and then, heading back and seeing my family. I'm really looking forward to it. But it was great meeting all of you guys, especially those of you from outside the country. Phenomenal. So anyway, rambling at this point, but thanks guys for checking in. If nothing else, go Commando.